Warning: the show you are about to hear contains muscular, intelligent, and intelligible sexy men discussing B-movies, and will contain movie spoilers. Only one of the previous statements is actually true. You decide.
So light that fuse and let it burn. There's no escape, there's no return. Exploding heads and synthwave licks. We're deep in cult classic kicks. Low budget dreams that never quit. Every frame a misfit hit. This is the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. This is Duncan The Baz. The B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast.
Welcome back to the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast, the only show where addiction talks back, your brains leak blue goo, and your best friend is a penis-shaped parasite with the voice of a Bond villain. I'm your host, Duncan McLeish, patron saint of VHS midnight movie rentals, recovering gorehound, and part-time ambassador to a parasitic brain slug. And this week, we're diving headfirst into Frank Henenlotter's sleazy, slimy, cult classic nightmare Brain Damage from 1988. It's part horror, part comedy, part PSA against experimental drug use, if your dealer happened to be a talking leech. As always, I am joined by my co-host in cinematic chaos, the man who once tried to snort a glow stick for enlightenment. He's here to help me navigate the slippery slopes between body horror and bath time hallucinations. He is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz.
Jawohl, mein Führer. Unleash the panzers.
It's always unleashing panzers. There's no panzers left. Unleash the panzers. But we're from it, unleash the panzers.
I've basically run out of German things to say, so I'm just repeating the same ones over and over again.
That's not good. It's only episode 9. We only have 11 episodes left and 2 bonuses to go before the end of this season, Baz.
I don't want to delve too deeply into this, Duncan. Do you know
Yep.
what I mean? Let's be honest here. You know I can fucking wreck this.
I think what you're saying is superficial is best,
Yes.
no depth, which is literally how I get my wife ready for sex. I'm like that. Superficial is best, absolutely no depth, because you're not getting it.
It almost sounds like Brain Damage.
Yeah. Well, Brain Damage is a movie that has an idea, right? One idea, right? And then it's like that.
Yeah.
How do we make this idea the most weird, fucked up, kind of almost defeating the purpose of the idea into a movie? And welcome to the world of Frank Henenlotter, who is literally I love this guy, right? And I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but he has a movie coming up in season 2, right? And if I have it my way, he'll have a movie coming up in season 3. Like, when I think about B movies, I think Frank Henenlotter. I think he is a guy who has big concepts, little budget, and then at some point just goes fuck it during the recording, and you get what you get. And Brain Damage is arguably his best put together movie. I'm sure there will be people that'll be like, fuck you, Duncan, it's Frankenhooker. I'm sure there are people out there that will say that. To me, his best put together movie is this one in terms of content, delivery, what you get, etc. So, there we go.
All words I didn't think would be mentioned in this review.
I'm not saying it's great, right? Don't get me wrong. But once you've been through the basket case movies and, like I said before, Frankenhooker, you get to, but your Brain Damage is the one that feels most with something to say, if not for the fact that, once again, it's in the hands of someone who is essentially an exploitation movie director, which means that the message sometimes gets lost in the gore. But yeah. Is it safe to say you had never seen this movie before?
Very much so. I confused it with another film that I've never seen, but I think I was thinking of Bad Taste.
I mean, I'm curious now because I thought this might hit a couple of. I actually thought just from the intro that we might be onto something good here, and I get a feeling that you're going to be cantankerous. So let's Unleash the dogs of hell, Baz, as we take our
Indeed.
first short break here. When we come back, Baz is going to explain the plot positively, and we're going to do it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Aylmer's Slime Time Breakdown. Baz is going to give us a plot synopsis here. I get a feeling that it might be short just because Baz is not interested, but we'll see how we get on here. Baz, what happens in Brain Damage?
Well, I tell you, Duncan.
Aye.
In Brain Damage, a dude called Brian gets taken over by a parasitic wee blue jobby that's been held captive for a number of years by a pair of former Nazis who live upstairs from Brian. Imagine if you will, Mr. Hanky, but he's eating the bubble gum from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and he's been voiced by Stewie from Family Guy, right? And that's Aylmer Fudd. That's what this is. What a crap name for it, Aylmer. I mean, I know, having read something following it, I know that the name is actually like Almayer or something like that, supposed to be.
Yes.
But they all just call him Aylmer. And all I could think of was Aylmer Fudd. The wee blue jobby needs to eat brains to survive. It requires a human host to go and get them for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does this by injecting this hallucinogenic blue fucking goo into the host's brain stem, which makes them see flashing lights.
Gets them motherfucking high.
And then for some reason they become totally fucking dependent on it.
Yep.
Cue a series of like hapless misadventures featuring extremely well-dressed junkyard night watchmen, wildly promiscuous goth club kids, and the world's worst roommate. And that's Brain Damage. Prove me wrong.
Oh, I will. It's like you just like. I thought you were coming with actual evidence and not just this fancy words. For theatre, Baz, you're clearly doing this for theatre. Yeah, like he does. It's interesting because as soon as you mentioned the South Park connection to Mr. Hanky, I then started to think about Towley. Hey guys, you want to get high? And then I was thinking to myself, maybe
I only saw the first couple of seasons.
So you didn't see Towley, right?
Towley doesn't resonate.
Towley was constantly at his tits on drugs, and he would walk about the place. And I think he might have been from a PSA. And he was just like, "Hey guys, my name's Towley. Wanna get high?" Like this, his eyes were always pink and bloodshot and fucking huge, and he was actually a towel. Like, here's the thing, right? This is 1988, right? 1988. Horror's on its way out. It's about to become the ugly, dirty word that no one wants to talk about anymore, right? And we're going to pretend everything is a high concept, highly intellectual, psychological thriller. Pretty much from like a year after this, for the next 3 or 4 years, like horror movies are in the bin. No one we're in sequel territory. At this point here, we're at what, Jason 7 or 8? We may have just went to Manhattan, right? So that's your like Freddy has fought off the invisible Wicked Witch of the West, right? But like that's to put things into context. I think 88's the year we get Hellraiser, which was too dark and too seedy for most people, and something like Child's Play. Child's Play comes out about the same time. So like we're getting new franchises trying to do something, but it's a hard backdrop. But there's this kind of low budget New York kind of belts and bootstraps sort of horror that still exists, that existed back when horror was kind of making its push through into the 80s and still kind of exists there. And one of the big names in that is Frank Henenlotter, who is really, like, for the most part, a guy who just goes and gets it done. Big picture, like big vision, small picture. You know, like the visions can never translate because the budget's not there. And this is like his kind of idea of trying to tackle drug culture, And the only way Frank Henenlotter can be with an alien parasite that needs brains. So I'm not going to say it's the best way to do it, but I'm not going to say I dislike it. So there's
That
only
was
one way to
all
prove. No.
drastically more interesting than this film.
Well, we will find it right now because we're moving into a segment that quantifies the rad, sad, and bad, or sometimes mad. To do that, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be doing it right after this. And welcome back, ladies and gents, to a segment that I've called Rad, Sad, or Just Brain Goo in a Bathtub. We're going to rank the rad, sad, and bad moments of this this movie, which I'm going to be honest, you've thrown the curveball at me, and I was coming all bubbly, all excited, couldn't wait to talk about this. I just got a feeling that there ain't going to be much rad on your list right now. My list is mostly rad. So kick us off, Baz. Like, hit us with something that will shield fans of the movie from your venom.
Right, I do have got a number of rad things actually
Awesome.
about it.
Cool.
I'm going to tie two of them together because they're kind of related almost. First off, Brian's Crumbsuckers poster, which was bitching, and I've never seen the Crumbsuckers on TV, let alone in a film. So I was very impressed by that. And following on in the music theme, I really liked the band in the Goth Club.
Yep.
So much so that I ended up Googling and checking them out, and apparently they're called the Swimming Pool Q's, which is a very bad name. But
It's a terrible name.
I loved the 80s goth vibe that was bursting out of them. So the music related stuff in this film is pretty rad.
Awesome, right, but not the movie. Great. Let me kick off with Aylmer. I love Aylmer. You might call him a blue jobby. That's fine. That is within your right. But I think Aylmer is the very epitome of the reason I don't do drugs. Like, so I've never done drugs, right? If you excuse alcohol and caffeine, of which I consume quite a bit, so maybe I do a lot of drugs, but actual drugs, never done them. Never had an inclination of doing them at all. And Aylmer is like the very reason why I wouldn't, because that idea of someone that starts off being kind of friendly, and to a certain point where it kind of twists a little bit and then becomes a little bit malicious, and then you go from being like on the same level as your dealer to essentially being the person that needs the deal. Like that. I like control myself, Baz, but Aylmer as a character is fucking great. And the longer we spend with him, the more, because he needs you, but you need him, and that's the kind of the parasitic kind of quandary that you're in on here.
Junkie's paradox, Duncan.
It is the
paradox,
Junkie's paradox, but the fact that Aylmer like speaks like almost he's two steps away from Vincent Price doing an Audible book. He's like, "Come on, Brian," you know, like, he's all the way. He's so mild, but that voice, when you change the words up, all of a sudden, like when he's telling them to open your mouth, or it becomes like very twisted and very sinister. And he's not doing anything different except the words that are coming out, the situation you're in, maybe he ain't your friend after all. So I like Aylmer, Baz. You might think he's a blue jobby ready to be flushed in the toilet. But you know what? I think he's rad.
Well, do you know what? I think he's bad. And here are the bad things about
God. Oh, no. Right? Don't destroy this movie for me.
The visual effects they use when he pops out the guy's mouth on the subway train every time his bird turns in. Shite. Right?
That's not it's whatever they use before CGI.
Dog shite. Everything about the wee blue jobby. In particular, his voice.
I love the voice.
His singing.
Yep.
Because he sings at one point.
He does sing.
And the stop motion kind of animation. I have not done cocaine, by the way. I know I'm furiously rubbing at my nose here. And considering we're talking about this film, everybody's probably going, Baz has coke to his tits, and I'm not. I don't know.
Baz finished the movie and he did his lesson. He was right in there. It's like, what is this like again? Oof.
Stop motion animation crap. What else do I fucking hate about him? His biblical origin story. What's
I
that
love
all
his
about?
art. He's been there before the pyramids.
Nah, no having it. No having it. Then he got locked up by the Nazis. No, fuck off. Fuck off. If the Nazis had got their hands on him, Goring would have shoved him up his arse like Richard Gere's hamster. That's what the Nazis would have done.
Which is
with
a
him.
fake news story. Richard Gere never put a hamster up his ass. Although I'm not disputing that Goring may have put something up his ass. You never know what those guys were in there. Right, let's see if I can counter this. See, you see the stop motion's bad, but I think it adds to the charm of this movie. It's hella
Yeah.
low budget. It's like the budget for this movie is fucking nothing, right? And a lot of it's shot in the subway, not because they had permission to shoot in the subway. They just went on the subway and shot.
Yeah.
And what they're going to do. So, like the scene where he's on the subway with a woman, and you're talking about the blah, blah, blah scene, which like especially in high def, looks pretty bad. But like the ultimate death there is grim as fuck. He like fucking tonsil fucking hockeys her to death in a way which is really, and the idea that, and once again Henenlotter can speak better to this because of where he lives and made these movies, but the idea of someone could die or be murdered on the subway and no one would react to it because it's the subway at night and stranger things have happened. I like that. So I'm going to say, once again, that's rad. I like that the subway death scene's rad.
Nah. What death is rad is the blowjob kill
It's fucking great.
outside the goth club. That had my eyes opened, I've got to say. I was quite taken aback by that. One, by it's quite graphic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then obviously it's not as PP, it's wee Aylmer that comes out.
Yeah.
That was proper mental. That was fucking kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So that gets a rad from me.
The fact he has to like change his trousers not because there's like Monica Lewinsky cum stains on it, but there's brain matter on it. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna do a. You know what? I'm gonna do a bad. I'm gonna say that the ending in this movie is the one bit that really has always stuck with me. Is like when he's had so much drugs injected to his brain that basically it becomes like a light portal. In the hands of a better director, David Lynch, in a TV show like Twin Peaks, I'd be sitting there going, that fucking masterpiece. I would give it a 5-minute standing ovation and throw roses at the screen. This movie, I'm like, did we have an ending written? Or did we get to a point where we're like that? We need to. There's no money left. Credits.
Yeah, one of my notes is that it's got the most abrupt ending in cinema history.
Oh, just finishes. Yeah.
Just stops stone dead.
It's not good. The ending is not good because Aylmer goes from being like a virtually unstoppable force to being strangled by his own owner.
Yeah.
It's weird and it feels rushed. The last 5 minutes of the movie are, and I will give you this, Baz, very rushed.
Do you want to know what made me sad?
I want to hear what made you sad.
Brian the cuck, just lying there as his bird's getting like finger popped by his best friend, and it slowly evolves into an entirely imaginary Devil's Three-Way.
Yeah.
Just soul crushingly depressing. You know what I mean?
Brian is a super tragic character. He really is. And I think that's where Henenlotter get the casting of the actor that plays Brian is kind of great. Like all the way through this, I actually feel like they've maybe given him drugs and then just refused to give him his second dose. It kind of feels borderline all the way through like this, like he is like in horrible withdrawals and someone is filming it for entertainment. So yeah. Do you have anything else?
I've got one mad one.
Go for it. I love your mad ones.
It was the classic 80s homoerotic shower scene for no reason.
The guy is so fucking buff. It is unbelievable.
And it's just like there's no need for it. I think you kind of think that wee Aylmer's going to eat him, and he doesn't. He
No.
just saunters out.
Goes
with
for his friend.
massive glutes glistening.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
The guy's also like surprisingly accommodating in the shower. If someone was staring at my arsehole for like 2 minutes and hadn't switched the shower on yet, I don't know if I'd be like, "You all right?" Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. What was was it a Friday the 13th?
no, it's Friday. It's Friday Part 2
Friday Part 2, that's the one with the gym
with the gym
teacher.
teacher.
Like the BDSM gym teacher, yeah. It reminded me quite a lot of that and the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it for the boys.
It's just all part of that secret 80s gay undercurrent through the whole of Hollywood.
You know
that's
what,
turned
Baz?
us all gay, and now look at the state we're in. The whole world's gay.
The 1980s, a hole's a goal. Right, so with that in mind, with that horrible closing line here, we'll take a short break. When we come back, it's time to talk about plot holes. There are none in this movie. It's immaculately tied up together in a nice red bow. We're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment that I've called Brain Drain or Brain Goo. We're going to look at the worst plot holes in this movie. I'm going to kick us off. Let's talk about Aylmer, right? His origin story is let's like piece it together here. Is like, shite. Like you mentioned it before. The whole kind of I like the idea of him being there before the pyramids and all the rest, but context. He's like, I've been here before the pyramids. I was done this. He was captured by him. He was taken to this. He ended up in the like that. Yeah, but where did he come from? Like, you give me every place he's been, but I don't know where he's come from and why he ended up here. That might be handy, and they don't give you in the movie, so it's just hung over your head as if. As my biggest plot hole is why.
I've only got one.
It was at that.
No, but I've written it all in caps. So just imagine
Why is this movie
caps, here? It's got no fucking legs. How's it going to do anything? Do you know what I mean? It's just a little jobby lying there. How is it managing to take over people? It's got no legs or arms.
Because they've got legs or arms. They can control them.
I'm not having it. If that was the case, slugs would rule the world. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if you've seen the movie Slugs, you might know that slugs rule the world. Right. Oh, you know what? Let's. I'm going to say let's move on and let's get to a grade here because I get the feeling that I'm not going to talk you around here, and the only way to like morally destroy my good mood tonight is to find out how low you actually scored this. And
why don't we do some funny lines first, and then that'll cheer you up a bit before
we do have funny lines, but like you are like, you know what, Baz? You're the patron saint of reminding me that I keep forgetting segments. That's what you are. So let's move on to the next segment, funny lines. We're going to do it right after this. And welcome back to a forgotten segment called Top 5 Lines That Prove Aylmer Should Have Had His Own Podcast. I'll tell you right now, I would listen to Aylmer read the phone book. I love weird, strange, kind of strange, like like voice. I think it's great. Right, Baz, you may have disliked the effects. You may have liked some of the characters. You may have thought the premise was awful, but I guarantee right now you have some lines. So give me it.
That I do. Feels like you've got a real monster in there. We goth club chicks feeling him up outside, and it's not his penis, it's a wee blue jobby alien.
Well, but I can't help it, Barbara. I've got something in my brain. Like, okay, right.
This is one of the worst lines in cinematic history, and it teaches nobody anything. In fact, it should be used in schools to preach against certain factions of the community. Damn it, Brian, you can't just disappear and expect nothing to happen. Right, this is after he's just walked in on his roommate / best friend banging his bird.
Pumping his bird, yeah.
And the guy basically turns around and said, "It's your fault, mate. You were away for a couple of days.
Listen,
What else did you think I was going to do?"
we are friends here, but we have an agreement. There's an unwritten rule here that if you vanish for any more than 48 hours, then it is fair game.
Yeah, I'm going to be knuckles deep in your life.
Oh, do I have anything else? The bit where he's asking him to open his mouth wider. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. And Brian, once again, great acting from the Brian character, who's literally screaming all the way through it. Love it. Anything else from you?
No, mate, I tapped out after the gaslighting room, mate. Nah.
Right, well, let's actually get into this.
Nothing will ever be funny again after that.
Let's swing it into some grades here. I imagine this segment is going to be very, very quick with just me shaking my head a lot. We're going to do it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Rated G for Gooey Nightmare Fuel. We're going to score this out of 5. And I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to try and convince you. I'm going to say that my score for this is a 3.5 out of 5. Baz, hit me.
1.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Boof. No, I didn't like it. Didn't enjoy it at all. A lot of it is, I think it was off air. We were actually talking about this. I'm no fan of body horror.
Yes.
At all. It's just a genre that, in fact, we were discussing. I went to see that new movie Together that was out just a couple of nights ago. Was it that? And I found myself picking holes in, and I don't normally do that with horror type films. But for some reason, with body horror, I think I just find the premise a bit far-fetched. Whereas I can, can watch all these faux documentaries and they're absolutely fascinated and stuff like that. But for some reason, body horror just makes me want to scratch the itch. I'm like, that wouldn't happen.
That's
couldn't
right.
happen like that. He's got no legs. So yeah, no for me, mate. Not for me at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on Brain Damage from 1980, a film that sometimes proves that your best friend isn't a cat, isn't a dog, or even a person. It's a phallic parasite that lives in your neck and whispers sweet nothings while demanding human brains. A massive thanks, I'm going to say thanks, even though he's upset me, to the Baz, who once again braved the goo, the gore, and the existential dread, armed with only it says flashlight in my notes, but you mentioned flashlight earlier, armed with only a fleshlight and a questionable understanding of it's parapsychology, but that's not the right word. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe. Thank you. Hit the subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your brain melting content. Leave us a review or just whisper Aylmer into the darkness and we will find you. The next time on the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, we are trading psychedelic parasites for a little bit of something that has wheels. That's right, ladies and gents. When I say wheels, we're driving. We're driving right into a brand new episode, which is a bonus episode for you people out there. Our next episode is actually a bonus Halloween episode, which was not originally planned, but I've pushed in there for you guys because who likes extra episodes? I do. We are driving on the episode after, but parking at our Halloween bonus episode, Hack-O-Lantern from 1988. A film that slices through satanic ceremonies, dices up denim-clad cultists, and roasts family dysfunction like a pumpkin at a bonfire. Expect trick-or-treat treachery, heavy metal hallucinations, and more squash-based symbolism than a haunted farmer market. It's a gorgeous, see what I did there, descent into low-budget lunacy, where every scene is right for the carving, and every character is one bad decision away from becoming pumpkin puree. So, light your candles, sharpen your carving knives, and remember, here at the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, the bizarre meets the brilliant, one B-movie at a time. Ladies and gents, Baz, would you like to say goodbye?
Ho, Goring, get that wee blue jobby out your colon. Blitzkrieg!